Okay, so clearly I'm in desperate need of a retwist, but that's actually why I wanted to film this now, because I wanted to talk about the ugly stage, because I feel like I'm on the edge of getting out of it, and so I want to talk about the different things that helped me to get through it. This is my second set of locks actually, but even with it being my second set of locks, it did not make this stage any easier the second time around. And no, I'm not about to give you the typical love yourself and just be patient and it's temporary that people who are like 5 years ahead of you love to say, because it doesn't make it any easier when you're frustrated about how your hair looks right now. You deserve better advice than that, so I'm not gonna do that to you. So the first thing that actually helped me to feel better about the whole ugly stage is to find inspo that looks like me. So that first means my hair type. I think I'm like 4B, 4C. So it wouldn't make sense for me to look at someone who has like type 3 hair or just looser hair. You know, the girls with like the loose curly ends and the loose edges, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you look at all the inspo pics, it doesn't make sense for me to look at them because my hair is never gonna look like that, unless of course I went and got those extensions, which a lot of people are like, oh, it defeats the purpose of locks and blah blah blah. But if I had the money, I probably would have did it, but I don't. So we're working with what we have here. Aside from your hair type, you want to look for people who are seemingly in like the same stage as you. So if you're in that like super frizzy stage, you want to find people who's styling hair that has that same frizzy look, because it'll be more likely that your hair can accommodate that style. Then on top of that, you want to also try to find people who have a similar face shape or head shape to you, because I've noticed like sometimes I'll find someone and I'm like, oh, they have the same length as me, like let me just go for it, and then I try the style and I'm like, this don't look right on my head. So that's another thing to consider. Just like pull those three things together, and if you can find someone who has all three, you're golden and you'll be on your way to fun hairstyles and feeling better about your hair. And one more thing about looking for inspo is to try to find people who have a similar style to you. So me, for example, I'm not really into a lot of what is shown for short styles, which is the styles where your hair is like sticking up and sticking out. Some of those styles kind of work for me, like when I'm just feeling it on occasion, but I'm more of like a low ponytail, like slicked bun type style, whatever. Like that just fits my clothing style better. And some of that is probably just like unpacking European beauty standards, but at the same time, like I just know what looks right with my clothes and what doesn't. So if you can find people who have like a similar vibe to you, that'll also help you to find styles that you think complement you and your face better, but also the clothes you wear, so you don't feel like, oh, now I have to lean into the whole earthy black girl style if that's not even me, just to fit my locks. The second thing that helps me out is to just try experimenting with styles and textures. For example, this is like the first braid out that I've had done on this set, and I feel like I like it better with the current shape that my hair is in, to have like more of a curly wavy texture than just the straight. But yeah, anyway, my point being, just spend some time in the mirror, take different sections of your hair, try to pin it up, put it down, add some accessories, whatever. If your hair is short, I highly recommend trying out like flat twists, or trying that thing where people like crisscross sections in the back of their head to kind of like put the pieces of hair up so they can do a ponytail or a bun. Just trying different stuff like that, and just putting time aside to see what you like and what you don't like. The third thing that's helped me out is leaning into accessories. This could be glasses. I mean, I don't wear these for fun, I wear these because I'm blind, but you can get some nice glasses for fun. You can also try head wraps. I was big on head wraps and still am. Also just like the lock accessories, but also headbands. That's something I want to get into. And jewelry too, like just accessorizing that way. I feel like putting yourself together with jewelry and makeup and trying different accessories can also help with the whole like not feeling as feminine, especially when you're in like the shorter stage of locks. The next thing that helped me out a lot, especially when I had just started both sets of my locks, was what I call faux fixes. So this is wigs, this is protective styles, things like that. Both times when I started my locks, I wore faux locks a lot. So I would just like crochet them and then like wrap the lock around my actual developing lock, starter lock, whatever. And then I would just try to be careful when I was removing them so I wasn't damaging my lock as best I could. And then somewhere down the line, I was like, I got extra lazy, so I got really creative, and I was like, let me get myself a half wig so that I only have to do half of my hair. And that's how I ended up with like this style. I have a tutorial on TikTok for how to do it, so if you want to go watch that, feel free. And then I did like variations of that. So like this style, I had my loctician do bantu knots at the front of my head, well, flat twists into bantu knots, and then the rest was out, but I would just like cover that with the wig cap and then put the half wig on the back. And then at some point I was even like using the half wig as if it were a full wig almost, and like I would put it into an updo and then wrap a head wrap around it. I got real creative because again, I was like, I didn't feel like doing my hair, I didn't feel like retwisting my hair by myself. Again, probably not the best for like the health of my locks, but it worked. It did what it needed to do when I needed to go out and look presentable and feel presentable, even when I didn't actually feel like doing my hair. Another thing that helped me out was to carry over some of the things that I used to do with my loose natural hair, even with me having locks. So for example, this is a little controversial in the lock community. Some people like it, some people don't, but I still like to do my edges. Obviously I didn't do them today because I don't know, it just doesn't feel necessary for this style, but for certain styles, doing my edges just pulls it together and makes it feel more polished to me. And some other things that I've incorporated is like, you know how back in the day when your hair was too short and you didn't really have enough to put it into a real bun, you would like do that bun thing and then fold it over and then kind of spread it out and pin it. You can kind of do the same thing with your locks. I've also seen someone do the thing with the hairnet. I'm just gonna put their video right here while I'm talking. But yeah, you can still incorporate some shapes that you've used with your loose natural hair, parting styles and all that types of stuff. All of that is still relevant, at least to some extent, even with you having locks versus loose natural hair. So try to bring that in, and that might make you more comfortable with where you are right now with your locks. This one again is a little controversial, but it's more of a mindset tip, so take it or leave it. But sometimes you just need to ignore the lock community. They mean well, I know that they do. They have a lot of knowledge, they've been very helpful. But sometimes their advice, especially to like people who are newer in their journey, just tends to be like, oh, be patient, I was there, you'll get through it, blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of brushes off your concerns and is not really helpful when you're in that moment and you're feeling really frustrated. So sometimes you don't really want to hear that from people, and it's okay to ignore it. The other thing is, people have a lot of their own opinions. They have their own reasons for why they started locks. For me, it's not a spiritual thing. Maybe down the line I'll feel like it was, but it really was just like, I don't feel like detangling my hair as much or doing as much, but I still want to have my hair natural, so this is my happy medium, I guess. But yeah, people have different reasons for why they started and what their preferences are, and you don't need to be held to their expectations. For example, I brought up the extensions earlier. A lot of people are like heavily against getting lock extensions, but if that's something that's going to make you feel better and you have the funds for it and that's what's going to work for you, I say go for it. I'm of the mindset of do what you want, it's your hair, and that's it. Now, to their point, you do want to try to stick with your locks if you can, but like I said, this for me is my second set. So the next thing is, if you feel like you really need to start over, I feel like it's okay to start over. Again, it's your hair, do what you want. For me, I didn't really like the parts that I had like triangle parts. I thought I was being cute. And my locks were bigger, and so I wanted them to be smaller so I could have more volume. And then I also wanted, you're not gonna be able to tell because again, I really need this retwist, but I wanted like square parts just so that I could have more freedom with styling. I wanted to do like the flat twist in the front thing, and that wasn't gonna work out with the parts that I had. And I'm really liking this set, and I feel like I'm gonna stick with it. If you feel the need to start over, that's okay, but just like take the time to evaluate what it really is that you don't like about your locks. Is it like the temporary, oh, I just feel ugly today, or are there like really constructive things that you can do to actually make you like your locks better if you do decide to start over? So saying all of that to say, if you do not love your hair right now and you're just like in the thick of it, it's okay, that's real. Do what you need to do to feel like yourself again. Do what you need to do to feel good about yourself. Over time, things will change. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to learn what works for you, and everything will move forward from there. Let me know where you are in your lock journey. If you feel like you are in the ugly phase right now, or if you haven't even started locks yet and you're just trying to do your research, which good on you, because it is a journey, it is a process, and you do want to know if it's going to work out well for you. Or if you're further along in your journey, your locks are more mature, but you have advice on what helps you get through the ugly phase, definitely leave that below in the comments. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.